AI is changing how people search the web, and fast. As a business owner, I've seen this shift firsthand. So I've partnered with Semrush to show you exactly how to conduct AI search optimization. We'll be covering a lot of ground in this video. The first half will be more conceptual, where I'll break down how AI search engines actually select their sources, make your website visible to tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Bing, how to structure content so it's easily found and understood by AI, explain why getting your brand mentioned by them is so important, and why you need to keep your content fresh, relevant, and up to date. This section will also introduce some of Semrush's AI tools as they directly relate to what's being discussed. Now, the final part of the video will cover everything in Semrush's AI toolkit that I haven't had a chance to discuss so far. Making the most of all these tools can help you boost your AI visibility fast, because if AI can't find you, your customers won't either. Oh, and before we get going, I'd like to thank Semrush for sponsoring this video. You can follow along with me and check out all the tools I'll be using in this video in the description. So let's get started by understanding how AI reads, comprehends, and ranks your contents. Chapter 1. How AI search works. First and foremost, traditional SEO techniques form the foundation of a successful AI SEO strategy. While AI systems can occasionally cite pages outside the top organic rankings, the majority of AI overview citations come from pages that rank well on traditional search engine results pages. Studies show 70 to 80% of citations are pulled from the top 10 organic results, and nearly all AI overviews include at least one URL from the top 20. Still, there are key differences. AI prefers top-ranking sources that present clearly structured data that includes trusted references throughout. In other words, you still have to rank well in organic searches, while also including clearly structured data that can be easily understood, and your backlinks need to link to authoritative websites. Now, before we move on, I have two other tips to share with you. Don't focus so much on keyword targeting as you do in traditional SEO. Instead, concentrate on topic relevance, because AI systems do more than read words on a page. They actively interpret context on and across pages. This means you need to take a more thematic approach to content creation and address the topic holistically from as many angles as possible. Now, even though we think AI essentially scans everything all at once, that's not exactly true. It still scans pages individually, just incredibly quickly. That's why you still want to think small. AI-generated answers rarely repeat a long, multi-paragraph excerpt from any source. Instead, they often string together individual paragraphs from multiple websites. With this in mind, you should think of each paragraph as a standalone piece of content rather than each page, as you do in traditional SEO. Alright, so now that you've got a basic understanding of how AI SEO differs from human SEO, let's make sure that AIs can actually find and access your contents. Chapter 2. Ensuring crawlability and access. You could have the best article on a specific topic, but it doesn't matter if AIs cannot find it and share it with potential customers. In this section, we'll dive into how to make your website easier for AIs to find and use. The first thing you'll want to do is check your robots.txt file. All you have to do is enter robots.txt at the end of your domain name, and you'll be able to see what crawlers can and cannot index your website. I'll be using Semrush's website for today's video, so I'll type semrush.com/robots.txt and hit enter. At a glance, you'll see that while many crawlers have been allowed, many others have been blocked. We want to enable them so search engines and the AIs that rely on them can find those pages. If you don't know how to update your robot.txt file, then there'll be a link in the description to an article that'll walk you through the process. Unfortunately, we don't have time to cover this in today's video. Next, you'll also want to adjust your sitemaps accordingly. A sitemap is simply a document or diagram that lists your most important pages for users and crawlers alike. Uploading and regularly updating this information enables your website to communicate more effectively with search engines, AIs, and even human users. The next bit of advice I have is a bit strange. While traditional SEO focuses almost entirely on Google and the Google Search Console, you'll also want to ensure you upload a sitemap to Bing via their webmaster tools. Why? Well, ChatGPT, by far the most popular AI tool, actually uses Bing as its search engine rather than Google. Since we don't have enough time in today's video to walk you through this, I'll include a link to an article that explains how to create and submit sitemaps to both of our search engines. One thing I will stress though before we move on is Bing SEO differs slightly from Google SEO, namely that Bing places greater weight on social engagement with content. In other words, Bing and ChatGPT factor in more than just on-page information. They check whether your content has been shared on social media, adding another layer of complexity to your traditional SEO strategy. If you've been neglecting your social media presence, then here's another reason to give it a try. You can even use Semrush's social toolkit to jumpstart your campaign. I'll include a link to it in the description. Now, where was I? Oh, right. We're still not done. It isn't enough to just point a search engine or AI in your website's general direction. Here are 4 things you can do to help improve indexability. Use HTML, not JavaScript. Google and Bing can easily parse and make sense of HTML text, but they struggle to understand JavaScript. In your browser, right-click on your homepage, for example, semrush.com, and click View Page Source. Read through this page and confirm important text is written in HTML, not hidden in JavaScript. Content Management System CMS settings. In your CMS settings, for example, WordPress, check all page settings to ensure they are not set to non-index. Your website is actually visible to Google. In Google Search Console, open URL inspection, enter your URL, and confirm it is indexed by Google with a status of 200. Make sure images have detailed and accurate alt text. AI cannot view an image or listen to a video. Instead, they rely on the alt text for an image or the transcript for a video. So make sure both are accurate. An easy way to get this done is to run a Semrush site audit. If you haven't yet, click the first link in the description to create your Semrush account for free and follow along with me. Go through the quick onboarding process and you'll soon arrive on the home dashboard. The first thing we have to do is create a project. Get started by entering your website's root domain. For example, I won't include www. Instead, I'll simply use semrush.com. Click Start Now. This will take a while, and I recommend letting a site audit run overnight so you can tackle it first thing in the morning. I'll see you when it's complete. Now, there's a wealth of data here in the SEO dashboard, and I recommend you take the time to look through this. For this video, however, we're only interested in Semrush's AI performance. In the left sidebar, hover over AI and click Site Audit. Click on the name of your project. That will take us to the overview page, where you will see a detailed report of your site's technical performance and content relevance. This executive level summary highlights key findings and visualizes them with charts and graphs. For this tutorial, we're focusing on the AI search health score, which is 73 out of 100. While that seems good, we have 62 issues impacting our score. Click the number of issues to take a closer look. Here we can see all the issues identified by Semrush, as well as helpful tips on how to address them. These are divided into errors, critical technical issues that need to be fixed ASAP, warnings, non-technical design and content issues that need to be handled in the near future, and notices, suggestions for improving content. In this case, we only have notices. I'll click the top notice, which opens an expanded view that includes a link to each page where Semrush found issues. To see a more detailed explanation of the problem, as well as tips on how to fix it, click Why and How to Fix It right here. While I recommend exploring each tab and page of your site's report, you get the idea. Semrush's Site Audit feature lets you quickly and easily find and fix outdated, underperforming, or broken pages. Once you've completed all the recommendations, click the blue Rerun Campaign button and start over again until your website is the best it can be. Now, before we move on to the next chapter, there's one last thing you need to do to ensure easy crawlability. It's a bit more technical, so bear with me. Google Analytics 4, GA4, is the latest iteration of Google Analytics, and it lets you easily see where traffic to your website comes from. To check it out, you'll already need a Google Analytics account registered and links to your business's website. Go ahead and open Google Analytics. Under Reports, select Acquisition, and then click Traffic Acquisition. The metric we are specifically interested in is called Session Source Medium. With that done, all that's left is to filter the data for AI only. To do that, you'll want to type the following into the search bar and hit Enter. Important, you'll only be able to look at these one at a time, so enter each of these separately. The 3 queries are chatgpt.com/referral, perplexity.ai/referral, copilot.microsoft.com/referral. The data here shows how popular your website is with these 3 AI tools. If you don't see any responses, that's okay. There are a lot of reasons AI might not recommend your site. The most common reason is that they can't find it, and if you've done everything in this chapter, that issue should be resolved in a few days. Alright, so now that we've discussed the technical aspects of AI search optimization, let's take a step back and revisit something I briefly introduced in the How AI Search Works section of this video: content creation. Chapter 3: How to identify, structure, and produce content for AI. Now, in this chapter, we'll explore a few simple ways to structure your content so that it's easily accessible and extractable by AI. We'll also talk about the types of content you should produce, as well as use a tool from the AI Visibility Toolkit to identify a topic that would make a great article. Finally, we'll turn that topic into a ready-to-publish article using a tool from the SEO section. As we proceed through this section, there are a couple of key points to keep in mind. Remember, AI favors top-ranking sources that present clearly structured data that includes trusted references throughout. Also, remember that context matters more to AI than a few targeted keywords or phrases. Produce pages that comprehensively address a topic and are valuable to your visitors. Got it? Okay, let's dive right in. Make sure you have a clear heading hierarchy. Break up pages using H2 or H3 headings to create short, scannable sections for all your visitors. You should also front-load answers. All your visitors want to quickly find the most important information. Write short and direct sentences at the start of a section. Then provide further detail later on. Make the most of bullets, tables, and frequently asked questions sections. These are the essential components of a section structure. Both humans and AI will be drawn to this content, so make sure it's well written, thoroughly researched, and as up-to-date as possible. Also, don't forget to apply semantic HTML and schema markup. Using these snippets of code is another way to convey the meaning and structure of content to a search engine. Now, something else to keep in mind: even when AI inevitably becomes the dominant search tool, keep your content focused on people. In Google's own words, the most important thing your content can do is fulfill people's needs. Bing, ChatGPT, Meta, Gemini, and every other provider out there will say something similar. Their tools are designed to help people. In short, keep your content structured, put people first, and be unique. Here are a few ideas to get your name out there. Write guest posts. Writing for popular, authoritative, and industry-specific publications is an effective way to quickly expand your digital footprint and draw more traffic. You can also think smaller. For example, consider producing content shared by other business leaders in your area, such as guest writing a blog post for their website. The more you get your name out there, the more likely you'll be able to start some expert collabs. This can be anything from publishing a joint article to hosting a webinar. Partnering with industry experts is a great way to demonstrate to Google, Bing, and other search engines that your brand is a trusted, authoritative voice. You can also take it up a notch by publishing data-driven studies that can be commonly cited in your field. This will passively earn you backlinks. You also need to be active on social media. This includes Reddit, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, and more. Don't be afraid to repurpose posts into YouTube videos, which often appear as sources in AI-generated answers. In other words, embrace omni-channel marketing. Use all the most popular social media platforms to meet your customers wherever they are online. Of course, having your content everywhere doesn't matter if it's stale, outdated, or irrelevant. In our increasingly interconnected and rapidly changing world, businesses always need to make sure they and their content are staying relevant. That's important to your customers, and it turns out to AI as well. The LLMs behind ChatGPT and other AIs draw heavily from recently published sources. According to a 2025 study by Seer Interactive, 65% of the cited content was less than a year old, and 89% were less than 3 years old. In short, recency seems to count just as much as relevance. The quickest and easiest thing you can do is go back through your articles and update them from the latest reports and studies. Repair or replace broken links, re-optimize content structure or keywords to adjust to shifting AI prompts, and highlight new strategies, services, or products your company is using or sells. Now, let's head over to Semrush, and I'll show you how to create highly relevant content with ease. In the left sidebar, make sure to select AI. Then, click on Prompt Research. This tool's purpose is simple: to figure out what people ask AI platforms. Let's get started. I'll type AI search optimization into the box and click Analyze. At the top, we see a few key metrics: the total AI search volume for our topic, the number of topics related to our search query, the number of prompts related to those topics, the intent behind those prompts, as well as the number of brands mentioned and the source domains cited in answers. You can sort your answers by topics, prompts, brand, or source domains. I'll stick with topics and click on AI search optimization tools. Now I can see the top prompts related to this topic, the AI response, the brands mentioned, and the sources cited. What's particularly interesting is the option to create content around each prompt. I'll go with these AI search optimization tools. Since there are no sources, this is an opportunity to take over the search before competitors. I'll click Create Content. Now, this requires having access to the Content Toolkit. But what if I told you there was another way? And there is. Click Cancel. Highlight the prompt we're interested in with your mouse, right-click, select Copy, and open SEO. In the left sidebar toward the bottom, click on SEO Writing Assistance. Click plus Create Documents. In the Keywords field, go ahead and paste our prompt into the field. Also, enter another phrase, AI SEO. Now, press Get Recommendations. Now, under Smart Writer, click Ask AI and tell the AI what you want it to write. Here's what I'll use. I want an 800 to 1,000 word article on AI SEO in general, concluding with a look at the best AI tools and programs businesses can use to boost their AI visibility. Make sure to conclude that Semrush offers the best value. Now, click Ask. This will take a little time to complete, so I'll see you when the article is ready to go. Our article has been written. Now it's time to follow the recommendations on the right-hand side. Best part is that all you have to do is select one of the 4 topics around the circle, like readability, and implement the suggestions. I'll go through and consider all the suggestions, so I'll see you in a few. And there we go. The article certainly isn't perfect, but it's well on its way to attracting potential customers. Pro tip: don't be afraid to reject some of the AI suggestions. Writing good content is as much as an art as it is a science. So don't be afraid to do what you think is right. All I ask, keep an open mind and carefully consider each recommendation before accepting or rejecting it. All right, before we take a look at the rest of the AI Visibility Toolkit, let's talk a bit about branding and why it is so important in AI search optimization. Chapter 4, Brand Performance in AI Search. So, why is your brand so important to AIs? I'll let an excellent article from Digiday, a leading media and marketing publication, explain. Per recent Ahrefs research, there's a strong correlation between brand visibility in AI-generated summaries and mentions of a brand on other web pages, as well as hyperlinked mentions of a brand and the amount of branded searches being carried out by users. So in plain English, that means that earned media and press coverage plus a brand's existing popularity among users count for a lot. In other words, legacy media coverage and social media references significantly boost your brand's authority in the eyes of AI. Having an optimized website alone isn't enough. Let's not waste any time and see how you're doing. Use the left sidebar to open Brand Performance. Enter your root domain in the search bar, then click Analyze. Now set the target location to the United States and the target language to English. Click Get Started. There are 4 metrics displayed at the top: insights, share of voice versus sentiments, overall sentiments, and share of voice. We'll work our way through these in reverse order since that makes the most sense. Share of voice shows how often your brand is mentioned in AI-generated answers and how early it appears in those answers. Since the earlier it appears in an answer, the more likely it is to be read. For example, we can see that Semrush leads the pack, but only by the smallest of margins. Overall sentiments, meanwhile, shows how favorably the AI views your business. For example, Semrush is doing well, 78% of AI-generated answers portray them favorably, 22% remain neutral, and none represent them negatively. Share of voice versus sentiments is a composite score that averages how often your business appears in AI-generated answers and how favorably the AI portrays you. In this case, Semrush is classified as leading with love. Insights, meanwhile, offers a few quick top-level changes you can make to your website and content to improve your overall visibility. Now, that's enough about brand performance. Let's round out this video by taking a look at the rest of the tools in the shed. Chapter 5, the AI Toolkit. At its most basic, this toolkit helps you manage and improve how your brand shows up in AI-driven search results. It includes several important reports on AI visibility, visibility overview, competitor research, prompt tracking, and brand performance. Each report helps you succeed in the AI search landscape. Now, we touched on some of these tools earlier in the video, but most will be brand new. Let's work our way through them, starting with the visibility overview. Open AI and select the tool. Enter your root domain in the field and click Check AI Visibility. I'll walk you through everything the report has to offer. Front and center is your AI Visibility Score, which measures how often your brand is referenced in AI-generated answers on a 100-point scale, with 100 meaning that your brand is always referenced and 0 indicating that it is never referenced. Don't be discouraged if your own website score is low. This is a new area to optimize and you're already ahead of the curve by watching this video. Below your visibility score is the monthly audience, the total number of visitors to your website from all sources. Beneath that are mentions and cited pages, both of which are AI only. As you can see, AI will be a small part of your overall search volume. Out of a monthly audience of over 196.2 million, Semrush received only 59,100 mentions and had 44,400 cited pages. The main takeaway here, however, shouldn't be that AI accounts for only a fraction of the overall search volume. Instead, it should be the rate of AI searches increased by over 20% in a single month. That means AI searches are a small but rapidly growing way to find information. This trend will only continue and likely accelerate as time goes on. At the top of the page, click the drop-down menu labeled All AI Platforms. This is where you can choose to sort the data by a single model. Scrolling down a little, you'll find the Topics and Sources table below the headline metrics. This is where you should spend most of your time. It lists topics or prompts and shows whether your brand appears for each one. There are several different views, so let's look at each of them, starting with your performing topics. Topics and queries your content already answers. Topic opportunities. Topics where competitors show up in AI answers, but you do not. Think of these as content gaps. Cited sources. External websites that are most cited in AI answers for your niche. Source opportunities. Sources that are often cited for answers where competitors appear, but you are not. Again, think of this as content gap problem. Cited pages. The pages on your domain that are getting cited in AI answers. With this in mind, consider the differences between a page that does get cited and one that doesn't. Why is that? Is the layout or structure different? There's also a sixth tab that we can't set yet. History. This tab updates monthly, and you can see up to 6 months of data to track your progress over time, learn from your successes and mistakes, and never stop iterating. Next up, we have competitor research. Let's open it. Here, we can again see how Semrush compares to its main competitors, identified in the visibility overview. At the top, you'll see each domain's AI visibility score, its estimated audience reach in AI answers, and its total mentions. Moving down to topics and prompts, this tool also identifies where your competitors are mentioned and you are not. For example, I'll switch the filters to prompts and missing. According to this, the third missed prompt for Semrush is Best Chrome Extensions 2025. This is a particularly good for small businesses to outshine their competitors. If you can answer common questions in your area and niche, you'll be in a great position to increase your organic traffic. Additionally, you can gauge the relative share of voice in AI answers by switching to the shared view. See if there's one competitor that is always present in AI answers. See who is missing. That helps you assess who's really nailing the AI game and adjust accordingly. By researching competitors, you'll uncover growth opportunities for your own site. Use these insights to refine your AI and SEO strategies. Target the gaps, learn from others' successes and mistakes, and attract more customers. We've already seen how to use the prompt research tool in Chapter 3. So let's move on to the next suite of tools, brand performance. So far, the tools we've examined in the AI Visibility Toolkit emphasized quantity, specifically how frequently your content appears in AI-generated responses. This section focuses on quality, particularly the context in which you're cited. It's broken into 4 separate reports: brand performance, perception, narrative drivers, and questions. These reports all build on each other, and since we've already looked at the first one, let's move on to perception. We'll see a few duplicative metrics from competitive research, prompt research, and brand performance. But I want to talk about 4: competitive perception by platform, favorable sentiment over time, key sentiment drivers, and AI strategic opportunities. Competitive perception by platform compares your overall sentiment score to that of your chief competitors, allowing you to see how different AIs talk about you and your rivals. For example, we can see that Semrush is dominating, but that Right isn't that far behind. Favorable sentiment over time will track how you and your competitors' overall sentiment changes over time. Key sentiment drivers essentially tells you what comprises your overall sentiment score, showing what the AI says you do well and where you can use some improvements. AI strategic opportunities build on what you see in the key sentiment drivers section of the report, essentially offering recommendations on how to improve your brand's image. It also assigns a time frame to each recommendation, helping you prioritize. All right, let's move on to narrative drivers. This part of the report essentially identifies what the AI says your business is known for, whether it's good or bad. Let's scroll past the top line metrics. We've seen them before, and check out breakdown by question. This is where you can view the most commonly searched questions related to your brand, as well as the AI-generated answer. These can be divided into 2 categories: non-branded and branded answers. For example, the top non-branded question is, are there digital marketing platforms supporting collaboration among large teams? Switching to branded questions, it is, can I find influencer opportunities using Semrush social media toolkit? Of course, at the bottom of the page, you also get more AI strategic opportunities to help boost your visibility and consumer sentiments. Finally, let's move on to questions. The name says it all. This report lists the questions people will ask AI about your brand or related to your industry. For example, we can see the topic distribution, the themes or topics people ask questions about, and query intent distributions, why people ask the question. Scrolling down, we see a much more in-depth breakdown of each topic, letting us identify on a per-topic level why people are browsing Semrush. For example, we can see that under SEO and keyword research, only 10% are there for research. But in competitive market and traffic intelligence, 44% of users are there for research. At the very bottom of the page, once again, is another set of AI strategic opportunities identified by Semrush, flushed with detailed recommendations and a clear timeline. We have one last tool to talk about: prompt tracking. Remember, we talked about site audit in Chapter 2. Setting it up is straightforward. Open the tool, click plus create SEO project in the upper right corner, enter your root domain, and give the project a name. You'll get a pop-up saying you already have projects for this domain. That's okay. We're just creating an AI-only position tracker. Click Create SEO Projects. Under Targeting, select either ChatGPT or Google AI Mode as the AI you'll want to track. I'll go with ChatGPT. Select the United States as the location, leave the language as English, and click Continue to Prompts. Alright, you can track multiple prompts at once, but they must occupy their own line. I'll keep it simple and track 3: AI Search Optimization, Semrush, and how does AI search work? Pro tip, each prompt must be in its own line for the tracker to function properly, and keeping them lowercase ensures that Semrush will search for all iterations regardless of capitalization. Click Add Prompts to Campaign. For now, uncheck Send me weekly ranking updates via email, then click Start Tracking. This will take a few minutes, so I'll be back. Now, once that's done, click Apply. Switch over to the Competitors Discovery tab of the report. Here, we can see our top 10 competitors and their AI visibility scores. Scrolling down, you can see the same information, including the number of prompts from your tracked ones the competitors are ranking for, and the average position that the domain ranks in ChatGPT's answers for that prompt. Now, go ahead and open the Overview tab. Today, we can see that Semrush wasn't visible for any of our tracked prompts. Below, in Rankings Overview, we can see a prompt-by-prompt breakdown of these missed opportunities, along with the estimated daily search volume for each topic. You'll also get an AI visibility score for each prompt you track, making it easier to track your progress over time. These update daily, so keep coming back to improve your score, and when you're ready, start tracking more prompts. Now remember, when you're trying to upgrade your AI SEO game, follow the fundamentals of regular SEO while focusing on your page structure, brand authority, and recency. Keep Google's rules and best practices in the back of your mind, and always use Semrush's AI Visibility Toolkit to identify and fix pain points. So if you're ready to see how your brand shows up in AI searches, you can get started with Semrush's AI Visibility Toolkit today for $99 for your first month, or sign up for Semrush One and enjoy an exclusive, extended, free 14-day trial where you can check out both the AI Visibility and SEO toolkits. Both links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.